Okay, so at this point, the Gemara needs an answer to explain why is it that if you already did Bedika and plan to do the Biur, how come you still have to do Bitul? So Gemara says, Amar Rava. Rava gives us the answer. Gezerah, the need for the Bitul is a safeguard. It's a protective law. The reason being, Shema imtza glus kayafa v'daitu iluye. Afraid that a person during Pesach will find a piece of chametz that is valuable, a nice piece of bread, v'daitu iluye, and he'll have his mind on it. And this is the reason why it's not enough to do bedika and destroy what you find, because there might be a significant piece of chametz left behind the house that you might find during Pesach. As the Gemara, v'chimishkachas le liftele. So why can't you just do the bitul when you do find the chametz? How come we have to do the bitul before Pesach? If the reason for doing bitul is anyways based on the unlikely possibility that you might find chametz during Pesach, so then when and if you do find the chametz, just do the bitul there on the spot. Answers the Gemara, Dilma mishkachat le levatari surah, because we're afraid that you'll find the chametz already when it's forbidden, meaning after noon on Erev Pesach or later during Pesach, and since it is forbidden, the lav reshute kaima, and it's no longer in your possession, meaning although you own it, but it's not really in your control, because it has no value, and therefore velomatzi mevatel, and you can no longer nullify it. You can only nullify chametz when you own it in a full sense, it's in your possession, in your control. And we know this because the Amar Rabbi Lazar said, Shnei devarim einam b'rishuso shel adam. There are two things that are not in a person's possession. V'asana kasov keilu b'rishuso. And the Torah made them as if they are yours, as if they are in your possession. Ve'iluhen, and these are these two things. Bor b'rishuta rabim, if you make a pit in a public place, which you do not own the value because it's a public property, you don't have a right to own property there, but yet you're liable. V'chametz meshesh haoso lemala. And also the same applies to chametz after the 6th hour on Erev Pesach and later, because at that point the chametz, the value is no longer yours. The Torah makes that illegal, it's worthless, yet you are liable for it. And therefore this is the reason why we cannot do bitul chametz during Pesach. You can only do bitul when you own the value, and the value is only really yours before Pesach. Therefore, because of the possibility that you might find chametz on Pesach, and chametz we mean something that has value, that is significant, therefore you have to do bitul, and the only time you can do bitul is while you own it, and that is before Pesach. Okay, so the Gemara accepts the idea that you have to do bitul before Pesach, but then the Gemara has the following: v'nivtele be'arba, v'nivtele be'chamish. So why can't you just do bitul chametz 2 hours before noon or an hour before noon? Because at that point in the morning before Pesach, you still own it. You can eat it, it's yours, you can buy it, you can sell it. Why can't you do bitul at that point? Why did Rabbi Huda say in the name of Rav that you have to do bitul the night before Pesach? The Gemara answers, Kevon de lav zman isurahu, because since the 4th hour, the 5th hour in the morning is not a time when it becomes forbidden, it's just a regular time. V'lav zman biurahu, nor are you doing biur chametz at that time. Dilma pasha velo mevatele. Maybe you will be negligent, you'll be careless, and you won't nullify it. Meaning, there's nothing particular in the morning that is happening to remind you that you should do the bitul chametz. While at night, since you're doing bedika, you're engaged in the process of getting rid of chametz, so that process is going to naturally remind you to do bitul as well. Therefore, the logical time to do bitul before Pesach is at night when you're already doing bedika. That's a good time to do the bitul. But in the morning, there's nothing that is going to remind you to do the bitul, and therefore we're concerned that you will forget and not do the bitul before Pesach.